Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco celebrating our 700th subscriber. And actually now we have 704. So, every time we get 100 subscribers, we always do a special show where we watch a special movie.
We do a special food review. And originally, we were thinking about this since like January. Originally, Dairy Queen, they had a bunch of limited edition blizzards, and which included French silk pie, which I think sounds really good. I love French silk pie. That's one of my favorite pies, and so that's what we were going to do, but then all of them got taken off, so, we probably could have just done the celebration video ahead of time and then just uploaded it now, but, whatever. So we decided to go to Ritter's and get 7 different flavors to celebrate. And we got, what did we get, Safi? Heath Bar, Key Lime, Cookies and Cream.
Cake batter,
which is not very interesting. I
don't know.
I can't remember.
Something has peanut butter.
Peanut butter cookie dough, peach, and lastly, salted caramel cashew. So, yeah, that's 7 flavors. We did not get any chocolate kind of flavors, but that was just the luck of the draw. We go to Ritter's, and every day Ritter's has different flavors. So, I wonder what today's flavors are, actually. That'd be kind of...
I'll turn my phone off.
Oh, that's good. That's professional reviewing etiquette anyways. So, what we're going to do is every 5 minutes we're going to taste a new flavor, and we're going to try to taste them by the end of our review, and then at the end of our review we will rank the flavors, because ranking is king and queen. So we are also here to review Ice Cream Man, which is why we wanted to tie everything together. It's funny though, because we're doing this video on like a really cold day. This is like a fall winter day, and it does not feel like it's late May going into June.
It's what, May 22nd?
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have anticipated that this day in this part of the country would be this chilly.
Yeah. It's pretty bizarre. But then again, it's weird. It's like bipolar weather. And yeah. So anyways, Ice Cream Man. It's funny that we're reviewing this movie because I originally heard about this movie all because of Chauncey. He was the way that I heard about it. He recommended it on his YouTube channel, and I would always watch a lot of the movies that they recommended, or I would buy them as presents for friends. And so this was one that I actually bought from CD Universe, which... we don't shop at anymore. Safi, is that what you're going to contribute to this?
I'm sorry, but I'm having allergy problems.
To this review?
Having allergy problems.
Well, I'm allergic to your bullshit, so...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways.
Tell them about CD Universe. What happened?
Oh, CD Universe. Chauncey loved shopping there online in the old days. Well, what happened was one year, I wanted for my birthday a full box set of Breaking Bad, the series. It came in like a barrel, like a fake barrel case, and it was like a really special Blu-ray set, and Safi bought it, and then it never came. So, yeah, that's CD Universe for you. I don't know exactly what else happened, but...
Did we get refunded, or
no.
They just didn't charge us because
they
knew it didn't get here?
I can't remember, but Safi, she doesn't like to complain about anything.
Yes, I did. I said, where was it?
She doesn't ever really
we never
speak
got,
up.
We never got a clear answer either about what was going on. Oh, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
We'll let you know. Never happened.
Never happened.
So we just stopped shopping there.
No, that should have been a complaint to the Better Business Bureau. But anyways, that's a long time ago. We stopped shopping there. But still, Ice Cream Man, this is a movie that I always liked. Even as a kid, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I liked it more as a kid than I do now. I do think that there are some flaws with... Oh, 5 minutes. Safi, which flavor? Which flavor do we start with?
I'll take this one.
Key lime, of course.
Because you said that you didn't think it was that good. Marco he had to hold the ice cream while I drove home, and so he kind of snuck a little, I shouldn't even say that word, he sneaked a little flavor.
There.
Which is okay, really.
This is custard, actually. It's technically
Yeah,
not
it's
even
not.
ice cream.
Right.
So...
It's not very flavorful. I can taste the lime, but
Wow.
it's very mild.
Oh, God. I think it's even worse than the first time I tasted it, because
I'm kind of surprised.
it's
supposed to be key lime pie,
no,
right?
just key lime.
Oh, I see.
So this is like vanilla with a little bit of lime flavor. What would you rate it?
Probably a 2 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, I would give it a 1
doesn't-
out of 10.
It doesn't have very much. I mean, I've made key lime cheesecake and key lime pie, and it's not anywhere as near as. I don't. In fact, I
Flavorful.
wonder how they. I wonder how they made it.
Take vanilla and you put lime flavoring in it. That's probably what they did.
But it's just not lime. It's a special. In fact, they use a different kind of lime for key limes. It's smaller and it's lighter. But I don't throw it away.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. All right. So, continuing on.
Well, as I said, I liked the movie as a kid. I don't like it as much now. I do think that it's a pretty good horror movie, especially compared to the one that we just watched, because you notice that they spread out the kills throughout the movie. The special effects weren't great, but again, they spread it out to where they didn't just have all the best kills at the beginning, and then as it went on, they got worse and worse. They got better and better, if anything. So, Safi, what do you think about the movie? Why don't you say a little something?
Well, I'll say the star of the movie was an actor named Clint Howard.
Whoa.
And guess who Clint Howard is? He is the younger brother of Ron Howard. And Ron Howard is Opie from Leave It to Beaver, and he's done
Safi, Andy
Griffith's show. I'm sorry.
See, this is what happens when you spew out useless trivia.
Well, anyway, if you watched Andy Griffith when it was in black and white, and there was black and white episodes, and there was this little boy that wore a cowboy hat and a cap gun.
His name was Leroy.
He didn't say much. That was Clint Howard.
And he always had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That's right.
And he always offered it to the characters, which was really funny. And I would say that Clint Howard is the best thing about this movie, because despite the movie's flaws, I feel like his character, the Ice Cream Man character, he deserves to be like a horror icon.
He did a really good job. I thought he
Yeah.
kept the character all the way through. He really made himself evil or mentally ill.
And likable at certain points.
Yeah. So, I thought he did a good job. And so, to me, that's what... and also, another actor who was in the movie, I'll just say that I recognize, Jan Michael Vincent. And people should know him from... He used to be a kid actor. And he's kind of like a California guy. Had long, blonde hair. But anyway, he plays a cop. And this movie was made in 1995.
The old one?
The Ice Cream Man. So anyway.
The actor? Who
Yes.
Which cop are you talking about?
The two cops that get knocked out.
The blonde one?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was, that guy used to be like, I think he might have been in like those Disney shows that were on every Sunday night. He might have been in some of those and maybe some other, like kids-oriented movies. But I remember him. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. But
I'd like to give a little fun fact.
I thought it was a good horror. It was an okay... I mean, I'd watch it again Probably not right away, but
I would watch it right now. I think it's a great rewatchable movie. But I have another fun fact.
what's that?
This movie was actually made by a porno director.
Really?
And I think the actress who played the whore, the blonde one, I think she was like a porno actress. And I just think it's hilarious because a lot of people, they'll say like, oh, this movie looks like a porn parody or like porn parody acting or something. But the fact that this movie was made by a porno director, it's really funny because it just shows that maybe, maybe adult films, like, they didn't used to be like something that you'd be like, oh, well, like an insult or something, because he managed to make a really competent and good horror movie. You probably can't really tell as much that it's like made by a porno director unless you look at it that way, because it comes off. I never thought about that as a kid. I never knew about that, and I thought it's a great horror movie, and so I just think that's really interesting that, like, you have someone who made adult movies, and then he's like, hey, I want to make a horror movie with Clint Howard. But 10 minutes. Safi, okay, I get to choose.
Why don't you choose? Yeah.
Cake batter. Because I want to see, because I really love like cake flavored things sometimes, but then there's other times where you have cake flavored things and they're really bad. And this was one where, from what I remember, it just kind of tastes like vanilla. So, okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think it tastes like cake batter.
I really like it. I would give it a 7 out of 10.
I'll give it an 8.
I think it would be even better on like a hot day in a cake cone.
I don't know if I want to eat it again. It's okay. It
I
does
would.
taste like cake batter. So if you wanted to eat raw cake batter, probably something good to do. It would be mixed chocolate chips
Or sprinkles.
sprinkles,
Or cherries.
nuts, cherries.
I've come to really like cherries in ice cream or milkshakes. Like McDonald's, I thought McDonald's used to have cherries in their milkshakes, but they don't.
I don't think so.
So I really like that one.
Yeah, that was it, and it tasted like cake batter. That's why we like it so much, because it's kind of like it did what it said. So, anyway, and I didn't remember the beginning of this movie. I didn't know how the ice cream man became the infamous ice cream man. But it's, the ice cream truck rolls down your neighborhood street. We have them here. And, and they stop, and you run over there, and you give them money. And if you've noticed, Marco, because we've talked about this, the bomb pops were the real
Yeah,
bomb
they were
pops
really big.
that they used to have. They don't have those anymore.
Safi and I had this little thing, because we love to eat like ice cream stuff in the summer, and then we like to eat cookies in the winter for desserts. So, in 2022 and 2021, we were getting like bomb pops at Kroger because we wanted to have some bomb pops and different ice cream treats, and the bomb pops were like
I say they were half the size of what they used to be.
No, but then there were other ones that were like really tiny, almost like as big as like a pinky finger or a middle finger. Like it's just really, really small. And I was like, wow, this is not the bomb pop that I would imagine. Like this is not what I saw in Ice Cream Man. Like, I mean, that's the whole point. Is it's like like this big, huge bomb pop. Like it's supposed to be a treat. Like not something where it's like, oh, this is your dietary. Like it's not even that many calories.
Yeah,
like it's so stupid.
Now it's kind of like, if any of you are familiar with this, like a Weight Watchers dessert.
A Weight Watchers
Well, it's really
dessert.
small. And but anyway, it's about an ice cream man. This little boy, he has ordered his ice cream, and he's sitting on the curb, And the ice cream man gets shot up and gets killed, of course, in front of him and all these other kids.
No, I don't think he got killed, because what's weird is there's a flashback near the end of the movie where Clint Howard is in the asylum with the ice cream man.
I thought that was
And
just
he's
like
alive.
a dream.
I guess it could be a hallucination.
So
I'm
it's
not
hard
sure.
So, okay, well, I was thinking that too, but, something like that, it's hard to say.
I think he got killed. That's what I would think. Oh, yeah, he did. Well, they had the gravestone.
That's
But,
right.
whatever. But, yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought that it was just a great idea for a horror movie to have, like, a killer ice cream man, and to have... The one thing that I'll say, there's a couple of flaws. One of the flaws, I thought, even though it's past 15, one of the flaws, I would say, is they didn't do enough with the ice cream itself. They didn't have enough gross, creepy flavors.
And I thought there would be. I don't know, I was mistaken.
It was, like, very, like, casual. Like, there were a couple, like, they showed one with, like, some blood and one with some eyeballs, one with cockroaches and bugs, but, like, it really wasn't, like, the creative, like, the amount that I thought it would be, like, really creative, over the top kinds of flavors. Like, because I would think, like, you could probably easily come up with, like, 50 flavors right off the top of your head, based on, like, using body parts and stuff. Like, you could use, like, teeth as, like, the nuts in the Rocky Road.
There were bugs in it too. It wasn't just body parts. But how he got this way is that this place was called, what was it, Wishing Well?
The Wishing Well Sanitarium.
And this place, at the end, they went a little over the top with the inmates.
It was still, I thought it was a lot of fun.
It kind of reminded me of, I don't know, Walking Dead or a zombie movie or something. But anyway, what happened was, of course, he was traumatized by this terrible incident. He had blood all over him while he was eating the ice cream, because he was right in front of it. And he went there, and they would show him, and they would inject him in the head with whatever. In fact, they did that to all the inmates. They injected them in the heads. And then they would the nurse would give him a big bowl of vanilla ice cream, and said every day is a happy, happy day. There's never any day that's worse than that or something.
Safi, it's time to try another flavor.
Okay.
Heath bar. I'm really excited. This is the closest we could get to getting butter brickle. I will say that in the movie they had this butter brickle supposedly, but you could tell it was just vanilla. But one of the issues that I had was in talking about the flavors, like, this is how... one of my hairs dropped in it. Whoops. I'll eat that part. But one of the flavors was, like, called hardpack. I don't know what that means.
No, I thought hardpack ice cream is like this. That's what I thought it was referring to.
What flavor, though?
Well, I know. I didn't get that either, but that would be the only thing, to me, that's what they would...
But there's this part where he gives a kid a hardpack, but he just takes vanilla and then rubs it up against this dead guy's face and then gives it to him. And I thought that was really, really stupid and uncreative. But Safi, what do you think?
It doesn't have much flavor. I can just barely taste the candy bar. And I think that may be the fact that
get a bigger bite.
When you eat it, that you have to get a bite with candy.
I love Heath bars.
Like, here's one right here. And here's a big piece.
That's really good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I would give that like a 6.5. 7.
I'll give it a 9.
Really?
I love teeth bars.
Well, see, I think...
bad for your teeth, though.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is, like, I'm not a big fan of, like, when you just put pieces of candy in vanilla ice cream. You know,
that's
like...
what it is.
Because that's what this is, yeah. So that's why I'm not giving it, like, a higher rating.
But I don't think it's just vanilla ice cream, because I could with the first bite I had, I could taste a hint of the Heath bar, without there being any Heath bar. So I don't know what that means. But
I don't know. Maybe it's caramel. I don't know, because on Ritter's website they don't give any descriptions underneath the titles. You know.
Well, I just thought about this hard pack thing. Because, like, let's say if you go to Dairy Queen, I hope nobody minds that I'm mentioning these places, but by their name. But then when they say soft serve, that means that's the ice cream comes out of that machine, you know, like in a swirl, or however you want to do it. Or if you go to a restaurant and part of the dessert they might have pie, and they have soft serve ice cream which comes out of the machine. They might have a chocolate part and a vanilla part. But then hard pack wouldn't be like that. It would be solid ice cream frozen in a bin.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, it's just the fact that, like, the most creative thing they could do was just rub it up against a dead guy's frozen face. Like, another thing that I thought was kind of weird was at the beginning of the movie they had this old guy, and he was like a trash picker.
yeah, I didn't think that was necessary.
He completely stuck out like a sore thumb, because he comes on and he's almost like a pedophile character, like a really evil, creepy character.
I think he was a red herring.
He's like a red herring, and then he gets killed though, and it's like, wow, that was kind of pointless.
But I thought, they were working together. So I don't know if that was never really fleshed out or not, because like you said, if he got killed.
I don't think he was.
So, whatever. But he came and went very quickly.
I really love the vintage quality of the movie, because it almost feels like you get to kind of look around at different things like clothing and stores and stuff, and like without actually being there, because everything just looks so much better. Like, it looks like such a better society, and so that's part of the fun of this movie. Like, it has a very like nostalgic quality to it, and I think my favorite part of the movie, if we want to talk about favorite scene, my favorite part is the part where the ice cream man chases the fake fat kid around in the store. Because
he's not really fat either.
Yeah, they put a pillow in him. He was actually in Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, and he's completely skinny and he's fine, and this was like a year later. So all they did was put a pillow in him and had him wear heavy clothes. But I love the chase scene between him and the ice cream man in the store. There's this really funny part where he's chasing him and this random woman asks him to give his opinion on her lipstick that she's picking out. And I thought that's so much fun, but it was also kind of suspenseful. I love chase sequences in horror movies. That's like one of my favorite kinds of things that can happen. So what was your favorite scene, Safi, as we're getting out the cookies and cream?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
You don't know.
Oh, we forgot to say that
We forgot.
the nurse that was at the mental institution, this kid gets out as an adult or whatever, and she takes, I don't know what happened to his parents. Was that ever... Well, anyway, this nurse at the institution, the one who kept giving him ice cream, she takes charge of him. And so his rent, she lets him live on her property. His rent is giving her ice cream.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to emphasize that. What are we eating? You have cookies and cream?
Mm-hmm. That is a 10 out of 10 flavor.
I think so.
I love cookies and cream. You get those big chunks of cookie, which has chocolate, Oreo. So I love that. I would give that a 10 out of 10. There's a really funny part before Safi gives her rating. There's a really funny line where the nurse says that she thought that she heard screaming, and the ice cream man says, "Well, your hearing is not what it used to be." And it was just such a mean thing to say, like such a blunt thing to say. He's just like, screw you.
Yeah, but it becomes more meaningful by the end of the movie what she's talking about. So she's referring to life at the asylum. And I don't
No,
think...
she's not. She was referring to hearing her dog cry.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I do because I remember it.
Well, anyway,
So.
what was I going to say? Well, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that line was funny, and one of the funny things that I love about slasher villains is that they don't give a fuck about like hot chicks or like girls in any way, shape, or form. While all the other characters in the movie, they're like fawning over like the girls and they have love interests and stuff. But always you have the villains, they're just like, I don't give a fuck about you. And so, like, the ice cream man, he doesn't care about any of these girls. Like, he'll kill anyone. He doesn't care.
Yeah, anybody.
And that's one of my
Man
favorite...
or woman or kid.
That's one of my favorite things about, like, slasher villains is because I think in the Universal monster movies, the villains always had a weakness for women most of the time. Like, they always had, like, oh, no, I don't want to kill her because she's my love interest, stuff like that. Or, oh, I just want to turn her into a vampire. But, in these movies, it's like, oh, she's in a bikini, chops her head off. Like, that's really fun to me. It's really fun.
Oh, I know what was, but I don't know if I want to bring it up yet. Well, I guess I'll go ahead. He, as the movie wore on, he started killing more and more. And there was this pretty girl, like an adult girl.
She was a whore.
She was probably it could be, probably, but we don't know that. I don't know it.
Well, because how does she afford that house when all she does is just sit around all day in her underwear?
She's what would you call it? A
high-end escort.
Something like that, or the other thing. I can't think of the word. Daddy.
She's not.
She has a sugar daddy. She's having an affair with one of the neighbors. In fact, one of the kids' fathers.
Yeah.
And
the fat kid.
Anyway, she came up to the ice cream truck and she said she wanted like a gallon of hard pack. She wanted, instead of these little ice cream bars or ice cream cones, she wanted a big gallon or a half gallon.
No, Safi, she wanted to have an affair with the ice cream man. I don't think.
Well, whatever, but that's what she said. and when she went home later on, he drives the streets at night. And it wasn't quite night yet, but he was going up there to spy on her to see, because she told him where she lived. She gave him the house number. And he looked and he saw them having an affair. So later on, when he got into the killing more and more, he went to see her, and she thought he was bringing her the ice cream she asked for. Well, he brought this gigantic, I'd say it's the size of a stuffed animal or whatever, but it was a big plastic ice cream cone, but the top of it was her lover's head. And she said, "Here's your ice cream." And so then he proceeded to kill her.
I really liked that part.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then later on, when you see him mixing the ice cream, when you had seen him previously with like eyeballs and bugs, and you saw these mice, but they got them at the pet store. They were white. White mice you don't see white mice. I've seen a million mice living in a country house out in the country. They weren't ever white. Anyway, you saw him put a filter in there, and he picked up her earrings. They were all covered in ice cream.
Oh, so that's what that was, because there was this really extended scene here. Safi, peach, have some peach flavor.
I can't wait to see what this tastes like.
That was one of Safi's picks, Safi's choice, instead of Sophie's choice. But there's this extended scene where, like, he takes these metal rings out of the ice cream that he's mixing.
That's her stuff.
And oh, okay.
That's her jewelry. I don't like it.
I was wondering what
that... I tasted a lot better than that.
I was wondering what that scene was all about. But anyways, I'm going to try it.
Ugh.
Oh.
I don't like it at all. I'll give it a 2. maybe a 1. I've made a lot of peach stuff.
Yeah.
Granted, I've never made peach ice cream, but
I
I've
really-
had homemade peach ice cream. That just isn't it.
I don't like that.
It doesn't taste good.
It tastes like vanilla mixed with a hint of peach.
Well,
like,
there is a hint, yeah.
like a
but
LaCroix.
It's like it's not very good of good flavoring.
It's disappointing. In 2022, Safi made a bunch of peach desserts, which are
They're
also
pretty easy.
they're really good summer desserts.
Yeah.
And she made like a peach cheesecake, but it ended up being like a peach ice cream cake. But I actually thought it was really good because it was like a frozen dessert. It's just that it wasn't really a cheesecake.
We couldn't get it to solidify. I think that's what it was. I couldn't get it to solidify.
So
I
she
had
just
cheese, so I put it in the freezer.
Yeah, she just froze it, and
And it worked okay.
I liked it, yeah. But so this movie, one of the big weaknesses I think is the lack of kills throughout the movie, because he does this weird thing where they have this kid named Benji. He's probably the worst character of the movie because he should have just been killed off. But at the beginning of the movie, he gets kidnapped. You think he gets killed, but then surprisingly later on, the ice cream man just lets him go.
No, that's Small Paul.
No, Safi, Benji.
I thought that was Small Paul.
No, he kidnaps Small Paul after Benji, Safi. If you watch the movie, he first kidnaps a boy named Benji, and then you think he's dead, and it's a trick. And then when he kidnaps Small Paul, he has to release Benji because he doesn't have any more room to put him in the freezer. So I thought that was weird. See, even Safi's confused about it because he should have just killed the little boy off. The little boy was so insignificant to the plot. He had nothing to do with the plot, basically.
Is that the one that was hiding in the woods?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's just so not necessary for the movie. And then at the very end, he's hanging out with them like he's going to be their new pal, like a part of their Rocketeer gang. I thought that was queer because it's like, what did he ever do? Like they should have at least had him be involved in the final fight, like in killing the ice cream man or something, because that was so weird.
Actually, Small Paul had something to do with that.
Well, he had all to do with it, but I mean, the other kid. You're missing the point, Safi.
I know.
And now
I understand what you're saying.
Now we're gonna move on
I
to.
wondered who the kid. I never knew what the kid's name was, and I was thinking, how did he escape? I thought he'd been, and so, yeah.
Salted caramel cashew.
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 It's not cashew. It's not like sneezing. It's cashew.
I like it. I like the caramel flavor. Cashews are my least favorite kind of nut. But
I like them because they're kind of soft.
yeah.
But I just got some Chinese food recently. Probably should do this for a food review. They put way too many in there, which it's usually just the opposite. They don't put enough. Cashew chicken,
Yeah.
Chinese food. That's been like my favorite for a million years.
I just took 2 extra bites, so.
And it worked. The ice cream, the flavors are good together. So,
I give it a 10.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What do we have left? Cake batter?
Peanut butter cookie
Oh,
dough.
that's right, peanut butter. That's right. We had the cake batter. It was not good.
So what else do you have to say about the ice cream man?
Well, I thought some weird mistakes were made, and I was thinking, if there's a child missing, and they were acting more like Keystone Cops than they were real good investigators. I didn't like that part.
There was a part where they were gonna search his ice cream place. What do you call that?
I can't remember the name. He had like a
I
ice
can't
cream
either.
store.
Yeah.
And it was really big.
It was really cool. and vintage and stuff, but it was all like creepy and worn down. But the cops, they just bust in there and they just start destroying things.
But they've been known to do that. That's a real thing. That has happened.
Well,
people complain about that all the time.
I bet that
Everywhere.
it happens, but the level to which they do it is just really, really funny.
It is a little. I thought it was a little overboard.
Clint Howard was like,
ice cream
"Oh, what are you guys doing?" He was like, "Oh." It's like, are we supposed to feel sorry for the ice cream man
And it
here?
irritated me too, because now I've seen some real cases in the last 5 years where kids are hidden behind a wall, and they did not, instead of just like destroying everything and throwing ice cream on the floor, which I thought was counterproductive.
Well, maybe they thought he was hidden in the ice cream. His body was in it or something.
Maybe,
That's the
but
only thing
they
I
didn't
could
do a
think.
thorough enough job of. He had the kid hiding behind a wall.
Yeah, it was
and there was a
pretty
thing
easy.
where he would just slide it up or undo it, like fold it out like it's a door, and the kid could easily get out. I mean, he could easily get the kid out, or hide him in there. And there was only a tiny window way up at the top of the room, and the kid wasn't very tall, and so he'd have to climb on stuff. And it was screened, and I think it was like a windowsill type of window. It was very small and narrow. But I thought the way they did that, and then the other scene with they show the mental institution, because they have to investigate that place too. They decide to look into that, because this is the background of the ice cream man, and they're looking up his background. And they saw that he witnessed the murder, and I guess they saw that he went to this wishing well place, and it turned out to be like a zombie apocalypse inside the...
Yeah, the whole wishing well thing was like they go there and it's like the inmates are running the asylum. But I will say, this is back when they had asylums. Nowadays, all the people are out of the asylums and they're among us in society.
Well, now,
and you see them a lot on TikTok. And it's very bizarre. You see
Marco
these
doesn't
kinds
know,
of
but
people.
in 1980, somebody took away all their funding, and they let out a bunch of people on the street.
So that was a big mistake. We need to bring the asylums back, because there's clearly a pretty big chunk of people who need to be put away. And
Marco, that's terrible. Just ignore
I'm just
that.
being honest.
I don't think he is. But anyway,
you look at the people on TikTok. Look at the people on TikTok.
I don't watch TikTok.
Look at look at the Costco guys.
I don't know anything about that, but anyway.
Boom!
I just don't. I mean, people, if they want to get little clicks.
How many booms do you give this ice cream, Safi? Boom!
Okay, whatever.
Put those people away. Just start off with them and just work your way through.
Maybe they could get adequate
boom!
health care, counseling, especially people who are addicted to drugs. It might help.
Put the Rizzler in there.
You just forget that. That's all. Everything's gone.
The Rizzler is insane.
Every kind of protection for everything, even a tornado, it's all gone.
So, Safi, here.
Last one.
Peanut butter cookie dough. I will talk about the ice cream man. So, let's see. What else should I say about the movie? I already complained a lot, so I'll try to say something that I liked. There's a lot of good, bad elements to the movie, and I would say a big one would be the brother, or was he the brother of the fat kid, the one who wants to be a cop? I
guess.
He was a very bizarre character, because he was like a wannabe, like, cop.
No, he made it.
He's also like Biff from Back to the Future, and it's so funny because he thinks he's like a cop now, and it's funny, he has a siren in his car that is a police siren, and he just, he's like a cosplay cop. It's like he's impersonating at the end. So he's
trying to make it funny, like it's a comedy. It's not supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah.
I know horror movies can sometimes have a little bit of humor in them, but it's a little over the top.
I thought that he was very underutilized in the finale, because even though he was a jackass, I don't know if Clint Howard could overpower someone like him.
And he was a big guy.
Like, I could see him destroying Clint Howard.
He's like
so
probably at least 6 feet, 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
He's a big guy, and he was just a big guy. So.
That's good.
So as the movie furthered on until the very end, he just killed more and more people, and then he got careless, and he got caught.
So, Safi, what would you rate the peanut butter cookie dough?
Well, actually, he got killed. It's an 8.
Is there chocolate chips in there, or is there just peanut butter? I think it's just peanut butter.
I didn't taste any chips. I just tasted peanut butter. He gets killed, but what happens is the boy he's been keeping prisoner, he was like a little smarty pants. And he had lost his glasses. The glasses were in the ice cream bin where he keeps his containers of ice cream, of the hard-packed ice cream. And the little girl took pictures, went and sneaked on to his truck and took pictures. And took pictures of the ice cream, the freezer. It had blood all over it, and the little boy's glasses. And she knew the little boy. They were real good friends. Small Paul, they were in there, so she assumed he was dead. And but he's the little boy kept hidden away in the back behind that wall. But anyway, he ended up. It's almost like, well, what happened is he had some kind of a reckoning, or it was like he was mesmerized or hypnotized, but he wasn't. But I think it was a defense mechanism, maybe a mental one, where he started going along with it. What they call Stockholm syndrome or something.
Yeah. And
but
that
he
was
snapped out of it in time.
That was kind of an undercurrent of the story, and I thought that was cool because it was like, clearly setting up that there could be a sequel, years later or something. But let's see. What did I want?
He helped the kids because the guy was chasing after him, and they caused him to slip into the vat. And of course, the kid who has been hidden away, he brought him out, and the guy helped him make the ice cream. So he actually knew what he was doing, but he acted like he was hypnotized or something.
My favorite.
Normal.
I really like this part in the movie. The ice cream man. He still like idolizes the older ice cream man who got killed. There's this really nice scene where you think he's going to do something like evil, like bury a body or something, but he goes to the old ice cream man's grave and he just puts a bunch of ice cream cones in front of his gravestone, and I thought that was a really good scene. Yeah. Because it was a nice bait and switch, and it was also like, again, like this character wasn't completely 100% evil. He's really mentally ill, he's insane, and but he's not completely bad.
But they screwed up his brain. Like I said,
yeah.
All the patients, they give them injections in their head.
Yeah,
which means into their brains.
I don't know if they do that in real life.
No, they don't.
Because how could the syringe penetrate the skull?
I have no idea. I mean, that's something Hollywood makeup. Ugh. I know, but it's still gross to see it, even though it's fake. Anyway, so the little boy snaps out of it, and because I think he saw the little girl, and she was his friend, and that's when he seemed like he snapped out of it. He saw it out of that tiny little window, and he knew how the door was open to his, quote, hiding place, and so he opened it and got out of there, and he helped him by, I don't know how, he got into one of the ice cream making bins, and they had a nut chopper cutter, and he was chopped all up, so he's dead.
But not really, because guess what, Safi? They wanted to make a sequel years later in 2015, 2016. I can't remember which year, but they actually started a fundraising campaign. And Clint Howard was going to come back, and it's him getting revenge on the kids.
And he could have done it.
Years later, and it did not succeed.
Oh.
It's crowdfunding, even though Chauncey gets money. to make movies.
to make crap movies.
So, Safi, let's rank these flavors, because...
Oh, Marco.
Let's just agree that...
the best one is probably the...
No, let's start off with the worst. So, the
worst is either key lime or peach. I think it's peach.
I think it's peach, yeah.
And then key lime.
Then key lime.
We're talking about the lowest to the highest, okay?
Then we have... I would say cake batter's
batter.
next. After that, I'd say Heath Bar or peanut butter cookie dough. What do you think? Because to me, I would say the best one is probably cookies and cream and the salted caramel one.
Okay, so next one would be... what's the other one?
This is a Heath Bar, cookies and cream, caramel, peanut butter cookie dough.
Yeah, peanut butter cookie dough would be probably the next, not the next to the last, or next, like third.
I disagree. I would say that Heath Bar should go there, but you know.
Well, yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
Okay, I know.
Because of the pieces of candy in it, that's right. Because I had to have 2 bites.
All right. So then after that, what do you think is better, the cookies and cream or the caramel one? Because I would say I would
like the caramel one.
Yeah.
But I like caramel anyway, and I like cashews.
So that's our ranking of these 7 flavors. Overall, I thought it was fun to try the flavors, I guess. I mean, we never really go to Ritter's.
No, and we've mentioned we're Door Dashers, and it's coming up on the summer months where it will eventually be warm. And we've already had a couple people on a kind of a warm day order.
Or even a cold day or rainy day.
I get worried that the stuff, because the places they're ordering from, it's a drive, and I'm worried it's going to melt.
Yeah.
So...
when we go to Ritter's, though, we usually get a sundae. We get, like, a Grizzly Cub sundae or a Peanut Butter Mountain. I've always gotten Peanut Butter Mountains, even as a kid. But as a kid, they really pissed me off one time because there was this guy, and it was the only time I ever saw him, but he was like, oh, he wants a Peanut Butter Mountain? And he gave me like a little tiny small size of the flavor. And keep in mind, like, we never go there. So this was like a treat. This was like a special thing. And he gives me like a little tiny children's sized thing, even though I was like 12 or 13. And so that really pissed me off. So, yeah. You have anything?
He probably graduated or something.
No, he was like an older guy, like a middle-aged guy.
Oh, who knows? Well, we just don't go there very often. So we did this, since it was our celebrating 700 subscribers, we decided to do this. And we watched Ice Cream Man.
It wasn't a very fun celebration, though.
We decided to do this. Well, it was more like a taste test, interesting, like an academic, whatever. So, okay. Anyway, so that's it. So,
what are your last words about the Ice Cream Man?
My last words, if you want to watch kind of a fun movie to watch on a rainy day, a rainy, chilly day, because that's what we've had the last few days. This would be something to watch. It doesn't last a long time. It's a little over an hour, and it won't take too much of your time to do that. And it's a horror movie, and everybody gets killed. The dog gets killed. Adults get killed, male and female, and a kid gets killed. At least one that we know of. And then, of course, in the beginning, they have the Ice Cream Man, the original one.
Which kid gets killed?
I think a kid gets killed.
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Or maybe not, yeah.
Which is really weird because,
I guess that's a good thing.
Again, they should have killed off Benji at the beginning of the movie.
No, Marco, they don't want to kill off kids in movies.
They should.
Well, they shouldn't.
They should.
I don't agree with it.
They did it in Stephen King's It, and they've done it in a lot of movies.
Yeah, but that's modern.
And it's just a part of life.
They didn't do that in the older one, did?
Yeah, they did.
Well, they probably did.
They did it in the book as well. That's the whole story.
Okay.
Is that
Oh,
kids
that's
get
right.
killed.
The little kid, the brother, the
Yeah.
little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, remember they brought back as a ghost,
That's
and
the
they had
whole
that
story.
tower of ghosts.
That's the whole story,
So,
Safi. Is that
okay.
kids get killed.
I forgot. I apologize. But
I
anyway,
know. You're forgetful.
there's no kid that gets killed in this, but a dog does get killed. They don't show anything. It's just a given.
I think that's kind of disappointing. You know, it's like, you know, the least you could do is kill a kid in a horror
Marco,
movie.
would you stop? Don't say stupid stuff like that. Okay.
Well,
so if you like this video, except for what the stupid thing that
we're not
Marco
done
just
yet.
said.
We're not done yet. We're not done yet. You're not going to rush us to an end
Well,
this
that's
time.
because of what you just did.
Well, okay, so anyways, Ice Cream Man, I would say this is not only a decent movie, this is a great horror movie because of its rewatch value. I would say that the music gets a little corny at points. You know, the music is very dated, a lot of it. It's very, like, ugh. Like, this is, like, really over the top.
Well, they play
But
the ice cream music that's on the truck.
There's a
A
good
few different
vintage...
ones of those.
A good vintage quality to the movie, if Safi would stop interrupting me for one video. There was a good vintage quality to the movie, and I loved the main villain, and I would highly recommend it. I've watched it again. And so, in terms of food, I have to say this movie is probably like cookie dough ice cream, because it's an ice cream that I would say I love eating cookie dough ice cream, but I don't love it enough to eat it all the time. And that's exactly what this movie is. It's a great horror movie, but it's not something you want to eat all the time or watch all the time. And so, Safi, what would you say is your food review now that you have the chance to talk?
I just rate it as, if you want to try several different flavors of custard ice cream, which we just did, and not everything is good, and we did rank them, and there was one really good one and one really bad one. So it's like a mixed bag.
Safi,
a mixed bag of ice cream.
This is our 700 subscriber video, and you're going to do a cop-out review?
That's what I'm doing, okay? It's like a mixed bag.
Wow.
So it has a good star. It's fun. It's there's no decolorization of it.
Yeah.
Which is what I call films nowadays, where they suck all the color out. All the color's still there.
Well, you notice the only color manipulation that they do is they add color. They add, like, different colors to the lighting. But they don't do anything to the film itself to change the color. This is how I wish all movies would look, honestly.
And, you know, there were a couple of some over-the-top scenes, and the cops looked a little... Well, one over-the-top was the cops destroying the ice cream shop. The other one was the zombies, like the zombie apocalypse in the end, which it wasn't. It was just the people at the mental institution going awry. And the guy who was in charge, he was already whatever and going crazy and running around the halls and acting like a fruitcake. So
just like Safi.
But the kids supported each other, and there were some funny things, and it was a mixed bag of a lot of different things, but it's entertaining, and you know, it doesn't take a long time to watch. So, and you want to see Ron Howard's younger brother, which I'm sure a lot of people have seen him that just didn't know that was him. So anyway, that's it.
So I would like to thank everyone for 700 subscribers.
Well, actually, now we have, what, 704?
704.
So thank you to all 704 subscribers.
I appreciate it, because I do a lot of carrying the channel on my back.
Because it's his channel.
Because it's
it's
Safi's channel, because it is called Safi and Marco Dish Out on the Movies, but I do a lot of back carrying, so...
Oh, my God.
I'm used to carrying people on my back.
Oh, jeez.
With my creativity.
Okay, are we ready now?
And
are we done?
And my genius.
Marco has to go somewhere, so I don't know what he's doing.
I do, but Safi has to go to the asylum.
No, Safi is not going to an asylum.
Yeah, you are.
So anyway, that's it. So, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.